Welcome back to another episode of PSL Daily Download, your first stop to all things real estate in Port St. Lucie. Today is April 24th, 2024. Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining me. Today we have major breaking news regarding the NAR settlement, which I'm going to get into before the end of the show here. But before then, I'm going to talk about inventory, which we have a new milestone. I'm going to go over that. I'm going to go over rates. There's been some movements there. And then we're going to touch on the market to see where that's at. So let's dive in. Let's get our day started. So inventory, we have hit a new milestone of 2,300. As you can see from yesterday to today, it went from 2,290 to 2,300, an increase of 0.44%, which led to an increase across the board. Homes under 375 increased from 557 to 565. Month to date, almost 15% increase in that bucket. Our homes above 375 increased from 1731 to 1733. Homes that are currently reduced in price on the market increased from 633 to 650. And then lastly, homes that are for rent increased from 374 to 385, an increase of almost 12% month to date. Now, going back to our milestone, we're at 2,300. I was curious to find out where we were, how long it took us actually to get from, let's say, 2,200 to 2,300, and then also from 2,000 to 2,300, just to kind of see if these numbers are accelerating, our inventories are accelerating on the upside. So I know you don't see this here, but at the bottom, I'm going to click our history button. So as we can see, our bucket B is our current listings that I've been tracking. I'm going to go down a little bit, make sure it's in your screen. All right. So 2,200 we're looking for. So we first hit 2,200, it looks like, on March 11th. So about a month and a half, give or take, it took us to going from 2,200 to 2,300. First time we hit 2,000 was in January 16th, where we went from 2,000 to 2,300. So an increase of 300 in a matter of 3 months, or just over 3 months. So it looks like it's accelerating as we've increased now another 100 in about the last month. So we'll continue to see the trend, but it looks like we've hit a new milestone. Just keep in mind that it wouldn't be surprising if we go below 2,300 over the next day, next week. But the trend has been that once we hit that threshold, it has continued to increase from there, or that milestone, I should say. All right, but that's what we're here every day. We're going to track it and see how that goes. All right. So we are on Mortgage News Daily's mortgage rate survey. Again, these are the rates as of last business day, or close of last business day. Okay, these are not the current rates. So Mortgage News Daily had their rate survey, the 30-year fixed at 7.38, which was down 0.05%. They had the FHA 30 years at 6.86%, and that is also down 0.05%. Okay, now let's look at the market. Let's see where that's at. Looks some red, definitely. It looks like the S&P is down, so is the Dow. Now let's go to the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield. It's at 4.669. It is up 0.071, an increase of 1.544, which, because of this increase, I'm assuming I did start getting the rates from this morning, and it looks like they're about 17 basis points higher than they were as of close yesterday. Again, not on the rate, on the pricing. So I promise I'm going to continue to say that just to make sure that everyone understands that. But of course, if you're in the market, if you're currently working with a mortgage broker, or you're looking for one, of course, I'm available. But the first step is applying, getting through that situation, seeing what program you're going to qualify for, which will then entail what type of interest rate you may end up with. And it goes off a lot of things like credit, loan to value, things like that. All right. So speak to a professional about that. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes of this morning's show. All right, so we're going to go to Scottman's Guide article. posted April 23rd, 2024. I think this came out actually like late yesterday because I saw it pop up. But so I'm going to go over it. Again, the judge has approved the NAR settlement. So I'll get into the article and I'm not going to skip anything. It's kind of short. So bear with me here. All right. Judge approves NAR settlement, paving way for sweeping changes. Changes within settlement agreement deemed fair, reasonable, and adequate. All right. So, and actually, I agree with that. A federal judge has approved the agreement between the National Association of Realtors, NAR, and a group of plaintiffs who sued the trade organization over its commission rules, paving the way for fundamental changes to the way real estate professionals are paid. On Tuesday, Judge Bowe, who presided over the initial case that eventually led to a historic settlement from the NAR, deemed the changes proposed within the settlement agreement fair, reasonable, and adequate. Under the terms of the agreement, the NAR, it just sounds weird, the NAR, all right, will put $418 million into a settlement fund over 4 years, among other concessions. The settlement is still technically subject to final court approval, with both scheduling a November hearing for final approval. The plaintiff, a group of home sellers from various states who contended that the NAR's outstanding commission structure paved the way for them to get charged disproportionately large fees, requested that hearing to be set on November 26th, although the hearing is likely a mere formality at this point. Now, keep in mind, obviously, it's still not final proof, but it looks like that's where it's headed, since the judge was the one that was presiding and he's the one that's given it an approval. One factor that this article doesn't touch on is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Justice Department is also inquiring on this. So they may actually have some say if it gets approved or any changes. So I'm not sure they will. I don't know, but we'll find out. But it looks like at least we have a path forward until we're told otherwise, which is really good for the realtors, specifically the buyer's agents, for the mortgage industry. That way we know how to structure loans, right? And more importantly, for buyers and sellers, that way they know, what responsibilities may fall on them and what, as a seller, may be relieved. They may be relieved of. So, all right, to finish the article. The judge's approval essentially greenlights the NAR implementation of far-reaching rule changes, including the elimination of a aforementioned commission. Before the suit, the NAR required a home seller to agree to a commission rate, which is normally negotiated but has long been typically 6%. Before the seller property is listed on the multiple listing service, MLS, but now, prospective homebuyers will theoretically be free to shop around on commission fee before they decide to purchase a property. The changes spurred by the settlement are said to be implemented by July and are expected to go into effect nationwide by mid-September. So this is huge news if you're in the industry, realtors, mortgage brokers, buyers, seller. This is huge. This will change the game. The one thing I always caution, I have had numerous conversations regarding this. The one thing I always cautious, the person I'm speaking with is, it's very easy to implement these rules in today's world. What sometimes we forget is that because of these rules, the playing field will change. The environment will change. The sandbox will change, right? There's going to be new tech companies that will come up, websites, different companies will evolve to better fit this model, which will then change the the game, right? And your your initial thought may be completely different than the way it actually plays out because of these new factors that were not factored into your calculation, because it's impossible to know how and when and who and all these companies, what are they going to do to change the game? So I see this changing, evolving. It most likely, I'm pretty sure, will not be this year. But going into next year, we might start hearing like, "Hey, this new company is going to be doing this, and this company is going to be evolving, and now they're going to be taking care of this situation." So this is this is big news, honestly. So we'll keep our thumb on the pulse there and kind of see where it goes. But it looks like we finally have a roadmap forward. All right. So hopefully you found value in this episode. If you did, please click that like, please click that subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.